here at Gateshead as the 9 teams line up for the Schweppes International Team Race. They'll run 6 laps of 3/4 of a mile, giving a total of 4.5 miles, and there's a field of 45 athletes. England A will be represented by Mick McLeod, Bernie Ford, David Black and others. There's an England B team, an English cross-country union team. Those 3 teams all go in white. Scotland, well, they'll be represented by Nat Muir, who wears 23, the winner of this race last year. Wales has Tony Simmons and Steve Jones. There's Tony Simmons, number 6, Steve 27. There's a Northern Ireland team. Tipton running with the green and white band. To them as the national cross-country. Bernie Ford heads them all off. And the rest of the world are represented by 3 outstanding athletes, the best of which will be Domingo Tibaduiza from Colombia, wearing 58. And Bernie Ford it is that leads the England A team around the first of the 6 laps. As far as the team race is concerned, there will be 4 to count. Incidentally, Kirk Lazaridis, wearing number 60, is second for the rest of the world team. He's a Greek who runs for Bolton United. We've seen him run in the Marathon Championships. Number 10 is up there, David Slater. Nick Leese is also up there, 17. Mickey Morton is up there, wearing 15, running for the English Cross Country Union. Tony Simmons, too. As they go away, this course, a pretty demanding one. There are 2 very steep hills. Mick McLeod, I can see, all in white on the edge, about 5th or 6th place now. Mick McLeod regarded by the locals as the favourite, the Elswick Harrier. Nick Lees, as he... Tony Ings contend, David Slater, Lazarine the blue on the left, and Mick McLeod, wearing the Ford, is still up there, wearing the McLeod in the team. This first of them, there's Mick McLeod, Simmons just gone through. Nat Muir's gone through with a white headband, wearing his Scottish vest, and the greens of Ireland and the green stripes of Tipton all intermingled there in this field of 45 athletes. This is the second slow hill, but remember it comes soon after that very steep hill. It's a glorious sunny day, but it is very cold and very windy. It must be 15 degrees colder than we've had for the rest of November, and but the cross-country boys enjoying it thoroughly. Late bit of afternoon sunshine as they go up the second of the big hills. And it's that sort of territory which is going to sort out this field, and 1 or 2 laps of that sort of running, and there should be some pattern to the team race as it unfolds. Last year in this race, Nat Muir won a very good run from a very good field, which David Black was second and Steve Jones. All 3 were running then, and Mick McLeod goes into the lead now. Mick McLeod, Elswick Harrier, another of the great heroes of the Northeast. Brendan Foster not running today, too early season for him. John Wilde is up there, one of the Scots lads. Number 19 in second place is Jim Brown, running in the blue for Scotland. Clyde Valley. Steve Jones in the red vest of Wales, back in about 4th or 5th behind John Wilde, with red bands across his chest. And Dave Chettle wearing 59 from Australia, one of 3 very good international athletes here. Dave Chettle from Australia, who's recently won a very good 5-mile road race up here, and winning a 5-mile road race in Gateshead gets a lot of respect, let me tell you. Domingo Tibaduiza from Colombia wears 58. He's the 1978 Sao Paulo Round the Houses winner. That's at Sao Silvestre. He's a PE teacher from Bogota, and he really has set South American records for 3,000, 5,000 and 10 kilometers, and it's interesting that he's the most recent winner of that very famous Round the Houses race, in which Ken Norris, who is here with the BBC team, was the first British winner back in the 50s at Sao Paulo. So John Wilde in there with Jim Brown. John Wilde leading from Jim Brown, Mick McLeod in 3rd, then Steve Jones of Wales. Nick Leese is coming up and just overtaking Steve Jones. Nick Leese running on the right of the picture. Jim Brown with a hat on in the centre. Bernie Ford's still in there, so too is Tony Simmons. John Wilde wearing 5. Wearing 9 is Graham Ellis for the England B team from Holmfirth. Nat Muir, number 23, just gone through picture. Some of the Tipton boys, Andy Holden going through there with that very strong team from Tipton. Let me tell you who they are. Brian Cole, Bob Sitlow, Andy Holden, Keith Rollison, Tony Milosorov and Steve Emson. What a team that is for one club to turn out. They're here because they're not only the English cross-country champions, they're the English road racing champions as well. As Gateshead turned out a team, they paid them the tribute of letting them be the one club team that runs here this week. Now Mick McLeod in second place. But 19 running in third, Jim Brown, and we wonder how the team race is unfolding and whether Stuart Story can put us in the picture.
Well, Mick McLeod, of course, leading the England A team assault on this team championship. And England A are, in fact, in the lead at the moment. That's early days, of course, but about halfway round this first course, things had spread out enough for us to give that sort of opinion. And the England A team, of course, Bernie Ford, Mick McLeod, Steve Kenyon, Dave Black and John Wilde, a formidable one indeed. And really, at the end of the day, that may be the team that takes an awful lot of beating.
So 2 of the England A boys in 1 and 2. Scotland, the dark blue vests, only seem to have 1 up in this early stage. Coming up to 2 laps of a 6-lap race. And looking at our athletic statistics as we do at the end of a track season, as we begin a cross-country season, which is the basis of most middle-distance running. It's interesting to reflect as Mick McLeod goes away and opens up a rather big lead, 5 or 6 laps. He took that hill well and went into a lead. I was just saying it's interesting to reflect on the statistical side of athletics that in Britain we have, at the end of this season, 40 athletes that have run 14 minutes or better for 5,000 meters, and few countries in the world can compare with that sort of strength in depth. 5,000 meters is just over 3 miles, and that time of 14 minutes would, of course, have won the 1948 or the 1952 Olympic Games. So it gives you an idea of the sort of strength we have in depth at 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters. So number 2, Mick McLeod. Number 17 is Nick Lees, running English Cross-Country Union, the ECCU, who have a team in. Nick Lees from Derby and County, 20 years of age, the national junior cross-country champion. 22, Alistair Hutton in the blue vest of Scotland, taking that corner rather wide. And this field being very well spread out. At the end of 2 laps, there are now 4 to go. 1 or 2 Scots and Irish vests at the back there, and the deep red of Wales. There's Tibba Dweeza, number 58, running ahead of last year's winner, Nat Muir. Tibba Dweeza has just come down from altitude, where he is a PE teacher in Bogota at 8,000 feet. He had a 20-hour journey here the day before yesterday. He was met by the great Brendan Foster, and the first thing they did was go for a 10-mile run. That's the sort of company these fellas like to keep. 20 hours and a 10-mile up the creek of London. Here's the leader, McLeod. What a season he had. The Elswick Harrier, bronze medal in the Commonwealth, 10,000 metres. Then Lees, Jones, Bernie Ford. Ellis was up next. And then I think it was Ian Gilmore wearing 21, the dark blue for Scotland. Tony Simmons just going through. Tony Simmons having mixed fortunes at the moment. He's won 1 or 2 good races on the country abroad, but he would have regarded last year as a disappointing one for him, despite his recent success at marathon running.
Well, we're on the 3rd lap of this international team race, and after 1.5 laps, the England A side were, in fact, at 38 points, ahead of Scotland at 45. Then England B and the English Cross-Country Union approximately the same at about 60 points, and Wales way down, despite Tony Simmons up at the front with 120. And it might be as well to point out at this stage that it is, of course, the team with the lowest score which takes the higher placing. In other words, the higher placings are added together for the lowest score, and the highest score in the competition.
Just checking through, Stuart Story was giving you that team position. Stan Greenberg and I